Alright guys, this is Mills back at the channel. We're going to be getting on the Ultimate Shop truck again. Kind of looking around behind the screen, seeing what we got going on. Got some brackets here on the workbench we're going to be cutting up, fabricating for the hitch and the electric winch mounts. We're also going to be cleaning up some unwanted and unnecessary stuff on the winch bed, and I think we're also going to get around to going back over here to the truck itself and showing you what we found out about why the truck had such a really poor cranking and throttle performance and all that. We got that licked too. It's not going to be a detailed how-to. We got just too much going on right now, so we're just going to touch on it so you can catch the diagnosis and what we found out that fixed the problem, and just catching you up to where we are now. So without any further ado, let's get on it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going ahead and getting started this morning. We're gonna drill out our winch plate brackets. We're gonna start with a 1/4 inch drill bit, slowly make our way up to the 5/8. Just cooling them with some soapy Dawn water, and we'll show y'all the process. Drilling this thicker material, just want to kind of take some pecks at it. Whenever your chip's coming up to the chuck, I just like to back them off, clear the chip, make sure we got plenty of cooling going on, and you get through it no problem. You got to make sure you got a place for that chip to go. Alright guys, so we're just going to go ahead and step up a half step here. I was drilling a 1/4. We'll probably move it up to maybe 5/64 or something. But about a half size. And that way we're not taking too much of a bite at one time. Well, I'm not teaching nobody anything they don't already know, but... And one thing I wanted to mention, guys, drilling in the drill press is going to give you less feel than a hand drill, obviously. So anytime you're stepping up, oh shoot, you're going to want to take a small bite and then back off and look at your area you're cutting. It should be centered around your pilot hole. But if you're a little bit crooked, the drill press will drill it off center. So you gotta watch that.
Alright guys, so this is our plate that we fabricated with the 5 bolts for the winch, and we've got our other ones in the back there, that one and the one way in the back, and we got them all squared and snugged down so they're ready to be tacked. So I'm gonna get the MIG out, we're gonna tack them in place with some good heavy tacks, and then that way we can take the bed off and get some mechanical work going on this old girl while the bed's being finish welded and painted. So that's what we're going to dive into today, and let's get in it. As well as doing the bed work on the back, I'm going to be tacking on there, and I got we're going to be taking off all the plumbing to get to the valve covers and be able to do an injector job on this as well. So we'll have some of this going on in the background, and we'll get more in detail in the injector job. But what'll be going on from up here that y'all might hear is just going to be pulling the airbox tube off and the turbo plumbing. Y'all seen that. I don't think we need to get too much into that, but we'll show you some bits and pieces of what's important, and then we'll get a little further in detail. But we're going to do we got a set of injectors, we got a set of glow plugs, and we got a set of under the valve cover harnesses, and I think that's where we're going to start to try and figure out why this thing is cranking so poorly and all that. I think the injectors are gummed up with all the diesel garbage that was in the tank on this truck. You can see that on some previous videos. It goes all the way back to the day we got it here, and we knew we had diesel in the coolant. We had water and fuel light indicating that we had it in the fuel filter. And of course we got a video or maybe two of cleaning the gunk out of the tank on this one. So I think maybe all that tank gunk and sitting up clogged our injectors, and so we're going to do an injector job. Alright guys, well there's our plates, and you can see our hangers snubbed out. We got the old girl back in the air, so this would hopefully be the last time, but you never know, might surprise us. We might get another one. Show y'all what we came up with on the, on these flatbeds with the, when you have the tank in the back, it's really hard to get a good downflow. The hose wants to be more horizontal, and then it takes you 2 hours to fill the tank. And a lot of those guys will put a I've seen them where they put a fuel fill up here, but then if you got something on the bed, you can't fill the truck. And of course some flatbeds they'll notch and put it up here, but we got our gin pole troughs and everything. So this is what we came up with, is to stick this in there. We got them tacked up and a little cocked to where the handle will go right here. So you're gonna have to reach under, but I think we'll have a good down angle on it, and we'll see what happens. So we got a little bit of grinding and dressing to do up on the headache rack. We've got our hitch to figure out here, tape measure laying up there, because on the right side of the cage, right up in there, I'm gonna have an electric winch set up, and I'll give y'all some more about that later. But it'll have an option for electric or PTO in the back for a couple of different reasons, and I'll let you know about that when we get a little further into it. So we got the hitch over there on a cutting table. And let me walk you over here. Excuse the mess, we got to take some time to clean up, but never seem to have the time. So what we're working on over here is the Harbor Freight winch that we're going to go in the back with. We got to make a mount for, so that's what these pieces are, and we'll shoot a little video on what we're doing there as soon as I get the geometry figured out. So let's get on it before it gets hot. Okay guys, I wanted to show you what I'm working on. So you'll see this kind of develop. I'm not going to go and explain the whole thing, but what we're doing is we got a piece of channel iron on the roll cage that we're going to implement or incorporate this receiver hitch tube and one of these receiver hitches into. We're going to weld it into that and make make some brackets for it, so that way the Harbor Freight winch can have a mount. And the thickness of the 6-inch channel is a little thin, so I had a old piece of, I don't know what this is, it's bigger than quarter, but anyhow, it had rounded sides, so I went ahead and drew this. Now I knew I needed 5.5 inches to do the rounds. You got to use the precision instrument to create the curves. So I have this specialty snap-on tool right here, Rust-Oleum primer radius drawing tool here. So that gets us the curve. So we're going to cut this out so the plate will match, and we're offsetting and cutting out this square, so the receiver hitch is going to stick through it like that. And we're going to cut a square in the channel up there, and that way we're back welding everything on the back side, and that ought to give us a piece for the back. And then this is going to turn into a piece for the front. So again, trying to work quick because we've been getting afternoon rains, so I'll catch you up on how this is laying out later. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of cutting and grinding. We'll just pick you up step by step incrementally. Good morning guys, we are back on the ultimate shop truck build stuff. Got a few things done the past couple of days, but a lot of sidetracking with peripheral things going on. Ain't gonna bother y'all with it, but we didn't get a lot of footage because we just a lot of hopping around. So we got a couple of more triangles to cut to go with these for the hitch mount. You'll see a little bit more about that. Need to do a little bit more fab on the bed, but it's coming along. We got a few things cut. Show y'all a little bit more about that piece right there and how that is going to play into the receiver hitch right there. So back to the truck, we got a few things going on here. We got the transmission drained. We pulled the PTO mount cover and found out that our PTO is not going to work, and it's going to be a little delay on when that's going to materialize. Got a few people working on that, so we put the cover back on, we'll put some fluid back in it so that we can have a moving rig. And so that's the basic thing going on with the PTO. There'll be a little delay there. Let me scoot around to the front, and we'll get back into more detailed videos on the next truck. But this one right here, we got new injectors, new glow plugs, new under the valve cover harnesses, and if you remember correctly, this one was acting like it was starving for fuel. So after checking the air, making sure there was no restrictions there, and checking the fuel filters and the fuel lines and the tank, making sure we're not starving for fuel there, it came up that it almost had to be all the gunk and emulsification that was in the tank that got in and clogged the little tiny injector nozzles. So we took a chance, ordered a complete set of injectors, and you'll see a little later today when we pop this old girl off, she's feeling much better. So that'll catch you up on where we're at now, and we'll move on with today's events, see what happens. Okay, so what we're going to do with this plate here and this plate right here is we saved this as the show surface, and I'll show you how that's going to mount on there later. These are going to be underneath, but we got a nice rounded beveled edge right here, so we're going to save that as our show surface. The underside of the bed is 3 inches. The top side right here is 3.5 inches. So I made some marks right here. One's 3.5, one's 3. So if we put this right on this corner and we line up right here, then this will be our 90-degree square. 3 inches by 3.5, and it'll leave this exposed surface that's not going to be welded on, so we don't have to sit there and grind it. So we'll do another one. We're going to skip over just a little bit, and you put this dot right here and this dot just off of the metal. Take your time and line this up. Now this isn't critical on a one piece, but trust me, from having to recut these, when you're doing 2 of them, if you don't take your time and measure this one and this one based off the same level line, you end up with a cassade jagged thing that I had to throw away and start over with. So we're going to cut these 2 triangles out, and the soapstone areas will be welded, and this rounded beveled edge will be the exposed side, giving us a clean look. Come on, baby. This is horrible. Might have too much tip. There we go. That's half how you do it and half how you don't. Got a good straight edge here and a jiggly one there, but we got the torch dialed in, so we got the second cut done. All right, we'll do another one. And whichever side you want to do first is fine. Let it get good and bubbly. If it pops like that, you're a little too close. On the thicker stuff, you gotta let it get good and hot first, and then start cutting. When you're getting a good wash straight through, you're good. And just stay put, stay in one spot, don't move. All right, now ease on the trigger a little bit. Now give it a good trigger and kind of go with it. And we got plenty of metal, so if it don't come out straight, and if you got to, back up a little bit, give it just like you did, a little heat. If you goof up to the right side on that line. We can grind to the rest. So go a little past with it like you're doing a skill saw where you overcut. All right. Now you can go left or right right there. Forgot I was holding the camera. I'm waving the camera around. Just keep on traveling. That's him. All right, so what we got Tristan up here doing a little washing off of some old welds, just a little cosmetic work before we get back into doing our fab right here. And I'm gonna get back on the table and dress up our triangles and all that. He's doing a good job learning how to work the torch and everything. So we're gonna let him wash off the high spots, and then we'll shine it up with the grinder and go from there. So what we're doing here is we got some old, we gouged out a few things, and there was some old welds that had been cut off and over gouged, so we're just filling in the holes cosmetically, make it look pretty. That loud sizzle is what you're looking for. Yeah, just filling holes.
Alright guys, we got this 2-inch receiver hitch here. This is going to be the mount for the secondary winch. We have it affixed here with this 2-inch square tubing, and we'll show y'all how that'll weld up on the bed and give us a second line of pull. And what we're going here, we're gonna weld these plugs in here, give it some more strength. The pipe's only coming out to about right here, so we're gonna plug weld these back here to give it some extra strength. One plug weld for y'all. You just want to make sure you get into your base here, because
why? Why the hell you want to?
Somebody told me. I don't know why, but somebody told me that's important. To tie this directly into this.
All right, guys, we got a little 90-degree that was notched and heated and bent and then re-welded on the top on the gap. So Tristan's putting some gussets in the corner, and then we're gonna, I already got the winch mount fabbed up. We're gonna end up putting that in the back. Let me go show you that. I don't know if you can see that square hole in that piece Tristan was welding on, but this is gonna stick in there with a backing plate, and then this is gonna hit one of the vertical posts where we can weld it up good, and we'll probably cap it top and bottom to give it some strength. Not the sexiest welds, but I moved back a little bit and I got out of the area that I had buffed, so I ain't too excited about them, but it is welded front and back for strength, so it's gonna be, I think it'll do. And then that'll hold the winch, the electric winch, and we'll get into explaining its purpose a little later. But just, we're not showing you all the bumping and grinding and all that stuff today, just little snippets. So we'll get on with it in a bit shortly and show you where we're at. All right, guys, so I start getting the code red and Tristan has gotten himself in a freaking hole. What you need? You need a winch truck to get out?
Yeah. Okay.
He got himself jammed up in here to get a good upside down spot. He's losing his hat, his head, his left testicle, and something else.
It's falling apart quick.
We are going downhill. We're going to hell on the express train.
Oh, damn it. Give me a blanket, man. Call it a day. Shoot.
You better watch where you put that torch. Oh, this is worth it right here. Bloopers reel my ass.
Oh, son of a gun.
Yeah, so what we're trying to work on here today, guys, is positioning. You got to be comfortable when you're welding. So, and just in case you haven't figured out, this is not that.
Not horizontal welding.
This ain't upside. I don't know what the hell kind of welding this is.
It's a workout though.
This is... Oh no.
Just taking a little inspection break.
Y'all, I don't know, because I'm on the fence about whether to keep filming or help. For right now, I'm staying with the camera.
Mr. Martin, I'm glad you're having a good time.
In case y'all hadn't figured this out, we're showing you what not to do.
Ooh, that's hot.
Boy, we're gonna pass a close eye on these wells.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. That's all you got to do. You get in yoga position number 12, pop your shoulder out of socket, dislocate your left knee, and you're right there. Just weld it up. It's perfect.
Okay. Want me to get him a shot of what we're looking at?
I'm scared to see.
Damn sure
show
better.
him that one first.
Well done here. That one. This one looks more like a dripping roof.
Tripping roof. Well, I mean, in your defense, boss man, that is not terrible bad on this side. We just got to touch up that top on that side.
Okay.
But just so you guys can see that a blind hog can find an acorn every now and then.
Oh.
Tristan put down this bead right here and this other bead all by his lonesome. And I don't care who you are, if you got a problem with that, you just need to leave me the hell alone. Very good job.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I don't know what all kind of confabulated thing you had going on down there a minute ago, but if that one don't come out like this one, then we know why. All right, so position is everything. And don't get in whatever the hell position that was.
Would not recommend.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back to y'all in a minute. All right, we're back in a more reasonable position. We're gonna see what Mr. T is gonna do. He's trying to fill in. He had one that was a little low. He didn't really, he penetrated this way, but he didn't penetrate that way. So he's in between the two, trying to tie the weld into the parent metal. All right, let's get over here and see what we got.
Yeah, I felt the roof or the toe.
Oh, damn.
Straight path.
All right, now your job is supposed to be for me to be able to blame shit on. You weld like that, I can't blame nothing on you.
Give it a minute.
Ain't that a fact? All right, guys, we'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, well, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Next week, we're going to get on, finish welding on the bed, getting all that done, a little more cleanup, getting it pressure washed, ready for paint. Maybe get a little paint on the back of the truck, on the truck frames and stuff. But that catches you up on where we are now. If you really like what we're doing, hit us up in the comment section. Let us know what we're doing good or let us know what we're doing bad. And always, if you have a question or a suggestion, hit us up in the comments. That's going to do it for this week, and we'll pick up with y'all on next week's and see if we can get this bed back on the truck. Hopefully for the final time, but maybe not. We'll have to see, but I think we can get it done. All right, guys, have a good weekend, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.